I'm confused. Somebody help me out here. So with all of the conjecture and discussions and rumors about the new Mesa reissue of the Mark IIc Plus amplifier, it's easy to get caught up in all of that and forget some of the fundamentals, as I have been guilty of. And I want to discuss one huge fundamental today. So I was talking to a friend of mine today, Jeremy Vareo. We were just talking about the amp and all the stuff that, you know, people are talking about and everything. So I was like, you know what? I got a JP and I'd really like to do a shootout between the JP and the new reissue Mark IIc Plus and just see how different or how alike they are regarding, you know, tone and everything. And I'm pretty sure that they're probably almost exactly alike. And my guess is it's probably hard to notice the difference between them, if there is any at all. And while we were talking about it, I'm like, you know what? I wonder what the price difference is between the two amplifiers. So I went on Sweetwater's site and I was shocked. I'm like, dude, you're not gonna believe this. There's only a $60 price difference between them. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. How are these priced so close together, but there's so many huge differences between them? And I'll get into those in a minute, but I was like, did somebody screw up on the pricing at Mesa? You know, I mean, it's just really weird. Like, so you mean to tell me for $60 more than what you would pay for the reissue of the Mark IIc Plus, you're gonna get 3 channels, you're gonna get 2 separate graphic EQs that are assignable to whatever channel you want. You get MIDI, you get the shred mode, you get 100 watts instead of 75, you get the cab clone, and it's programmable, you know, and there's probably some other things too. You get more gain. I know you get more gain with it because especially on channel 3 on the JP, you're gonna get more gain on that at least. And I mean, I don't know, it's just weird. Like for $60 more, you get all of that. And I just don't understand why people would go for the Mark IIc Plus reissue at this point, you know? I mean, it's almost like you're in coach, but for $2, we'll upgrade you to first class. You get the hot towel, you get 2 free drinks, you get a free meal, you get all the movies you can watch, and tons of leg room. You can even take a nap. You get a freaking couch to lay on, you know? And it's like, okay, why not? You know, I mean, that's kind of what I would say. Now, for the people who are like, yeah, but I don't need all of that, so I'm okay with what the Mark IIc Plus reissue has to offer. You know, I can understand where you're coming from, but basically you're not really paying for all the things that you don't need. You know, I mean, you know, I don't need 2 separate graphic EQs. Yeah, but you're not paying for it. I don't need MIDI. Well, you're not paying for it. I don't need a cab clone, but you're not paying for it. I don't need 3 channels, but you're not paying for it. I don't need 100 watts. Again, not really paying for that. So it's just really strange how the pricing is between these 2 amplifiers. I mean, it makes sense to me to just buy the JP. You know, I'm glad I have one, and I want to shoot it out with the Mark IIc Plus reissue for sure if I get the chance. But my guess is there's probably not going to be any difference between them sonically. I shot out the JP with the Mark 7 Mark II mode on the Mark 7 when it came out, and there's really no difference between them. Now, I know some people are going to get in the weeds with tolerances and stuff, but you know, at the end of the day, it's like, look, a Mark IIc Plus is a Mark IIc Plus. And according to John Petrucci, the Mark IIc Plus that is his signature amp is a legit Mark IIc Plus, as he says right here.
This amp is actually a reissue, certified, bona fide 2C Plus. Everything from the circuit board, transformer, it's the real deal. And it sounds unbelievable.
So if you don't believe me, take his word for it. And if you don't want to believe him, we'll take it up with him. I believe what he's saying. So the JP Mark IIc Plus is a legit Mark IIc Plus amp, as I'm sure the reissue is as well. So, which brings me back to, why are people going crazy over this amplifier when you can just get a JP for 60 bucks more and get way more features and way more options and way more tonal options as well? Because instead of having like an amp with 2 modes, you got a clean mode and a high gain mode. In the JP, you get an amplifier with 3 individual 100% independent channels. you know, and again, assignable EQs to each one. You have 2 separate EQs. So I just don't understand why people wouldn't go for that. You know, I just don't. So in my opinion, and I'm not trying to talk people out of getting the Mark IIc Plus reissue. I mean, I think it's good that Mesa reissued that, and I think it's cool. And there's people that'll buy it, and that's fine. That's great. I'm not going to judge you for that. Who am I to do that anyways, you know? Get what works best for you. But it just doesn't make sense with the pricing, you know, because the JP is so close to it in pricing. It's just, it's almost like when you go to the movie theater and you get the medium pop and the medium popcorn, and they're like, well, for 50 cents more, you can just get larges. And it's like, well, yeah, here's 50 cents. Give me large and large. Even if I'm not going to eat and drink it all, I mean, it's a better value. So it's the same thing. You know, the JP is the large-sized version of that, you know, that whole analogy. So here are my settings on the JP, you know. So I have 3 channels. I have my cleans right here, and then I have my crunch, and the rhythms, the gain's pushed in. I don't need all the gain here, but I have it pulled out on the lead and cranked, just like John Petrucci does. Judge me if you want. But, you know, and then it's MIDI, so I can literally, so here is like my, my rhythm channel right here. It's already on there. And then my lead channel, I assigned this EQ to my lead channel. So when I switched over to my leads, that switched to that EQ. Back to the rhythm channel. And then, of course, my clean. So I'm sharing the graphic EQ with my clean channel that I use on my crunch rhythm channel. But so with the MIDI switching, it just makes it so much easier to switch channels live and do all that. So, but yeah, I just think that having the MIDI is, it's a must for me anyways. I like to switch channels and use my effects and stuff like that. Again, to each their own. And I get all that, but like I said, for 60 bucks, you get all that. And I just don't understand why people wouldn't go for that. Now, I do understand why people want like the classic 2C Plus, and it's kind of cool to have and everything. No judgment. I totally understand that. But man, it's just a hard sell to me after I looked into the price. And like I said, I'm doing this video because I noticed the price this morning, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is freaking weird. So in my opinion, like, man, how much less should the Mark IIc Plus reissue be than the JP, considering all of the things that I just discussed? I mean, honestly, I think it should be several $100s less. I know, some people are going to be like, you're crazy, or you're right, or, you know, whatever. And maybe the manufacturer's going to be like, why are you saying that, dude? And stores might get mad at me, but sorry, but I mean... I mean, like I said, what would you do if you're standing in a store right now and you got to decide between these 2 amps? You just played them, and let's just say all things equal, they both sounded the same on the clean and the high gain stuff. I mean, which one would you walk out with? I know what I would do. I would easily, not even give it more than 2 seconds of thought, I'd walk out with the JP. Here's your 60 bucks. I'll take that, you know? So anyways, let's go ahead and hear what my JP sounds like in these settings. Now, I'm boosting it with the Aegis pedal by Walrus, I can't talk, Walrus Audio. And I know some of you guys are going to be like, you shouldn't boost a Mark amp, they don't need it. Yeah, I get that. John Petrucci boosts his amp, okay? So go take that up with him too. But let's take a look at the settings. So if you're not going to boost this amp, what you want to do is crank the treble all the way up, bass all the way down, and then mess with the mids a little bit. And it does tighten it up, and it gets it pretty responsive and everything. But I prefer to use my own boost pedal and not the tone stack, the active tone stack, I should say, to do the boosting for me. To each their own, but I just thought I would point that out, you know. And again, if it's good enough for John Petrucci, then hell yeah, it's good enough for me. So watch his rig rundowns. You'll always see a boost pedal in his pedal drawer. So let's go ahead and hear what my rhythm channel sounds like now. That sounds freaking phenomenal. I mean, this amp is just great. Let's hear the clean channel now as well. I have it dressed up with the Julia chorus and a little bit of delay, so let's just hear what that sounds like. That sounds very good as well. Just a great chimey, warm, awesome, clean channel. So let's just hear what the lead channel sounds like. Again, here are the settings. You know, channel 3 is where I have the leads at. So let's hear what that sounds like real quick. Yeah, lead channel sounds amazing. Really glassy. It's got that really nice glassy kind of pure tone. Lots of clarity. Even with the gain cranked, you get lots of clarity with that. So yeah, just a great amplifier. In my opinion, this is the best amplifier that Mesa ever built. You know, I mean, I'm never selling this thing. It is one of the best freaking tones I've ever heard. And every time I see Dream Theater live, John's tone is just so good. It's so pure and just so, I don't know, it's just majestic. It's aggressive. The leads are so glassy and pure and beautiful. I mean, it just sounds awesome. So, I mean, and you can get all those tonal options on the JP. Take another look at it here. So for $60 more, you get all of these different options, and you can really dial in these channels any way you want them and have a ton of different features and options. You know, so I'll show you here, like I have, it's subtle, but I have different settings on the graphic EQ on the lead channel. Like I took the highs down a little bit more, added a little more mids, and I also have some more bass in that channel to fill it up a little bit more, and I have more gain. I have it pulled out and cranked. Whereas if you see the faders on the rhythm channel, I have a little more bass here and a little more highs here, and I have the bass pretty much almost all the way down. I mean, there's just a touch of it in there. So you can have those options and really fine tune those channels for what your needs are. And if you want to go crazy with the graphic EQ on one channel and leave it kind of like the V shape on the other, you can do that too. So I just think that that's just such a great way to go. So if you're out there and you're kind of wondering like which one should I get, because I've seen a lot of people asking like, I wish somebody would do a freaking comparison between the two. Well, I don't have the Mark II-C Plus reissue here, but again, let's just assume that they sound exactly the same when it comes to the high gain stuff and the clean stuff and everything, and the voicing's pretty much the same on them. I just think you should just get the JP, man, because you get way better features and options with it. So I think that's the way to go. If there is a huge difference between them, I'll be shocked. Honestly, I'll be extremely shocked if there's a huge difference sonically between these two amplifiers, you know. So I know there's a lot of conjecture about there, people saying, well, the tolerances are different on the knobs and the faders and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. If you guys want to sniff each other's farts and tell each other how smart you are, go ahead. And there's all these guys that are always like the yeah, but guy. Yeah, but actually, you know, there's this and this. And it's like, well, good for you, dude. I'm glad that you split that hair and figured that out. But for the rest of us normies that who don't care about all the hair splitting crap, and because it really doesn't matter, I think the JP's the way to go. That's just my opinion. So what is your opinion? Do you guys think I'm crazy? Do you think it's crazy to spend $60 more and get all that? Or do you want to just stick with, you know, the more basic version and spend about the same amount of money? Again, no judgment from me, but I think it's an easy choice for me. Let me know what your opinions are on this in the comment section below. I would appreciate it, and maybe you can straighten out what I'm wrong about. Feel free to challenge me respectfully on it, and maybe I can learn something from doing this video. But on paper, all I'm seeing is the better value is the JP. So now I'm going to shut up and just play the JP in a full mix for you guys so you can hear what it sounds like in that context. Well, there you have it in a full mix. I think it sounds great. The lead tone is awesome, and I just think it's just such a freaking awesome amplifier. But again, tell me what you think. Which one would you prefer to buy if you went to the store, all things considered in this video? You know, considering the features, the price difference between the two, availability maybe, all that kind of stuff. Let me know. I'm looking forward to seeing your comment in the comments section. Well, thanks for watching, and thanks to everyone who's been purchasing my Quad Cortex, TONEX, KEMPER, and NAM profiles and presets on my website, tonewars.com, link below. Really appreciate you guys very much. Thank you so much. And thanks to all my Patreon supporters and subscribers. And if you're new to the channel and you like what I do here, feel free to subscribe and click the bell so that you're notified every time I either go live or come out with another episode. I got a lot more stuff coming up for you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.